So it's August 2nd, 2026. The other video cut off, so this is the continuation. So this would be lies, setups, and framing the third one. Okay. I need to really talk about this, the incident that I've remembered that I haven't spoken about before, because I remembered it when I was it came back to me, the memory, when I was in detention. And I do wonder if the mind control was suppressing that, or if it was just the trauma, because you go into dissociation. I don't know. I don't know. But here's what came back to me. I remembered a flight, and I know it was around that time of the other incident, and all the other incidents, the ones I'm talking about, where the crew were just asking me always about this story about the flight attendant putting eye drops in the food, okay? And it was around that time. And what I remember is, I don't know why I was in the front galley, or I'd been called to the front galley maybe. I think I was called to the front galley, which is where the front galley is where the pilots, where the door is to the flight deck, where the pilots are, okay? And there was a crew, male crew. He was quite tall and overweight-ish. I think sandy colour hair, I can't remember exactly, and I can't even remember how old he was or anything, but he was English and white, okay? And I say that because a lot of the crew aren't, okay? Well, I mean, a lot of them are, but a lot of them aren't also, okay? So that is an identifying feature. Let me think. I'm thinking that he was in his 40s, possibly 50s, but very vaguely. And I can't really remember him at all, except that he was a little bit overweight. And then what happened was that he had a tray ready with 2 cups of tea in the big paper cups that are for the pilots. All right, they're for the pilots. And I think he put, I don't know if it was 1 Kit Kat or 2, you know, the little candy, the chocolate candy. I can't remember now all the details, but he basically asked me to, he pointed out which was which, and I can't remember now which way round, you know, one for the captain and one for the first officer. But here's the thing, I think there was more than 2 people inside that flight deck. I don't know why I'm remembering that now, and I don't know if I'm mixing it up with another memory or not, okay? But I'm just throwing that in there in case it's relevant. But what he did was he gave it to me, and he gave me the tray with the 2 cups of tea, and I don't know if it was 1 or 2 Kit Kats, and then he's told me to take it into the pilots, okay? Now, I do not know why I didn't ask him why he wasn't doing that, you know, because if he made it, he should take it in, right? But he wanted me to do it, and there was a nervousness about him. And then I remember looking to the side and seeing, because I think he must have looked that way, and so I was following his gaze, and there was another crew, and I think actually it was the CSD, that's the cabin manager, and he was taller, he was really quite tall and thinner than this guy, but he didn't have his jacket on, but I do think he was the CSD, the cabin manager, and I just saw him running away, like as if the moment he saw me turn my head, he quickly tried to get out of my sight, but I saw him, okay? So the thing is, if I hadn't have been under this heavy mind control, I would have been very suspicious of all of this, because they were behaving very suspiciously, all right? And also there was the fact that why are they giving me the tray? Firstly, what's the importance of all this? And secondly, why are they giving me the tray? Why didn't he the guy who actually made the tea, why isn't he taking the tray in? Okay, but anyway, that I don't know, but these are the memories that came back to me. So then I do the number and look up, and the pilots, you have to look into the camera, so the pilots are seeing who's going to come into the flight deck, obviously, because it's a safety measure, right? And I went in. I have a feeling that there were 3 people, and I don't know why, and I don't know if I'm mixing it up with another memory, or if the mind controllers are doing something. It was a very quick exchange. I gave them the tea. They were very polite and nice, appreciative, and that was it, and I left. But you see, I wouldn't, none of this has any importance except that it's connected to the other incident, okay? So now I'm going to go back. The incident on the flight, and I don't know if it's the same flight or not. I'm guessing probably not, because let's see if there's any evidence. I can't think right now. I can't think, but I think that it would have been a flight after, because I think that they're making noise. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out now. I'm assuming that the incident I'm about to tell you, that I've already said, must have been afterwards, because maybe it's related to this first one or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, the red-headed man who was deliberately mumbling, was saying, excuse me. Yeah, she's, you know who that is. Deliberately making very loud noise. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to continue. Anyway. He was mumbling, and I figured out that what he was saying was, he was asking me yet again about this story about the eye drops, you see. And so I became irritated at that point, because I was thinking, all these crew are asking me this stupid question that everyone knows the answer to, because we've all heard that story. And now the passengers are as well. You see, it always happens that something in my throat when I start to talk about these things. And so I said yes, and I walked away. I thought, well, that's it. I've had enough of this conversation, And here's the thing. There was another crew member standing by, and I think this was street theatre. It was a set-up conversation. I think it was for her benefit. Now, as I walked away out of the corner of my eye, I saw her kind of gasping, as if I had said something very terrible, okay? And you see, again, I was under mind control. Why didn't I say to her, what's up, what's going on here? But why didn't I? That's unusual. Look, I do question things, all right? This is unlike me, all right? It's just unlike me. So this is, by the way, going back to the other video where I was explaining about how do you know when you're under mind control and stuff. That's one of the ways that you know. If you're behaving in a way that is unlike you, all right? But it's not always, you can't really tell in the moment. It's normally after the event. But anyway, then I can't remember what happens after that. But the next memory I have that's related to this is that the CSD on the flight, and here's the thing, is that's it. That was the piece of information. It was a different CSD. The CSD now that I'm talking about was called Danny Cook. Okay, Danny Cook. And the memory I have is of him handing me 2 cups of tea, okay, and making me drink them. Not in a rude way, just like, I was saying, well, I have to go and deal with some passengers now. And he was saying, no, have your tea first, okay? And he made me drink both of them. And here's the thing, then that night, you see, all of this is in retrospect because I didn't know what was going on at that time at all.